Hey everyone, this is Jennifer, and you're listening to the first episode of our BlackOpsToySTORY show. We're trying out some more long-form content, and so this episode will be on YouTube and YouTube podcast. In this show, Sully and I talk about our first action figures, and Sully talks about how he got started collecting and when he knew Black Ops Toys would be a thing. We do reference a video we did a few years ago, and that link is in the show notes. All right, here we go.
Hi everyone, Sully and Jenn from BlackOpsToys.
Yes, this is correct.
Yes.
Yes,
Go ahead.
This is correct.
Go ahead.
Well,
let's talk.
What are we doing?
What are we doing? We're introducing a video series that we're going to start, which is harebrained idea. What is it?
It's not a harebrained idea.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea.
Is it a video series?
Yeah, it's going to be a video series, audio series.
These are going to be longer videos.
Yeah,
but not
videos.
Too long.
No. Long,
just
but not
perfect.
Too long. Yeah,
yes,
just perfect.
Just the perfect amount of time.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay, so here are my thoughts. Gosh, this is going to be...
It's tough, but
this is going to be hard.
Let's freeform. We're going. So
okay.
People love to watch us.
Do they?
Fumble.
Okay, maybe that's true.
All right.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so my original thought on this was for Sully to talk about what got him started, like his very first toys that he had as a kid, that he had a lot of as a kid, and to go from there and sort of flesh out how he started collecting, the things he put aside when he went to college, how he came back to it after college, and sort of how all this got to where we are now.
How all this got to be way too much.
Which is, yeah, like a warehouse full of toys and a storage unit.
And a storage unit.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also, one of the things that we have done mostly well, and sometimes not at all, since 2010 when we started doing this full time, and he didn't go back to work after.
When did we start dating?
2005.
Fuck.
That's a long time. 18 years so far.
Wow.
So 2010, because we both lost our jobs. We did a video on this. I'll link it in the show notes.
It's a great story though.
Yeah, we both lost our jobs within a month of each other?
Yeah.
And our choices were do Black Ops Toys or go back to work at a different 40-hour-a-week job. And we both opted to do Black Ops Toys. And for a while, we did that pretty much full-time, both of us.
Both of us full-time. But when we got laid off, we both worked at the same company. That's where we met. But when we got laid off...
That's a story for another day.
It's a story for another day. But I had an eBay store that I ran that gave us, it was like my side hustle. And that was kind of, I worked full-time, and then I ran an eBay auctions and whatnot when eBay was first starting out a long time ago. But we decided to take that. And what's your skill set?
Well, I'm a web developer by trade, but I built the website in 2008. I know, that's a story for another day.
That's important.
I built the website in 2008. It's just, we didn't really do a lot with it.
Right.
We had it sitting there. It made some sales. We were always kind of excited when we had an invoice from the website that somebody actually bought something there instead of eBay.
Mm-hmm.
But in 2010, it was like, what do we do?
That was a big question. It's like, what do we do? Do we just go balls deep?
Gross.
Do we just do this full time, or do we try to go out and that was the shit economy too.
It was after 2008, yeah. After, it wasn't the best time to be unemployed, that's for sure.
Mm-mm.
So we started doing this, and then after a while, we needed employees, and as employees came in, I got a teaching job at a community college, and I teach part-time and have taught part-time since 2012.
Mm-hmm.
So I have been back and forth and in and out to various degrees of Black Ops Toys, but Sully has done it full-time since.
For a long time.
And now, here we are all these years later, having figured a lot of things out and some things not at all. on how to balance work and home and travel and budgeting and
working together.
Yes,
Yeah.
all those things.
Yeah.
All those things. So that was my idea for all of this, was to start like talking about what brought us here, and
Yeah.
then sort of talk about small businessy type things that we go through, because there's probably, especially post 2020, a lot of people who are trying some sort of a side hustle as couples
Yeah.
or family who, you know, have questions.
Then what's the number one, like, if you could describe small business in one word, actually 3 words, what would those 3 words be?
3 words.
3.
Okay, some of these aren't going to be really...
That's way more than 3 words.
Okay, slog. Slog. And amazing. Gosh, the last one, like, super fulfilling. That's 2 words. Fulfilling. Fulfilling.
We'll go with that. You want to know what mine are?
Yeah, I do.
Mistakes. Learning. And amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like half and half. Yeah. Because it's tough.
It's tough.
We've made a lot of really, really big mistakes.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yep.
let's talk about you.
Okay.
Let's talk about what is like the first toy that you can remember getting as a kid? Maybe not like a 5-year-old kid, but you know, like a teenager or a kid where you looked at it and you were like,
Star Wars.
Which one?
Star Wars 3 3/4. I just started getting those figures for Christmas and stuff, like Millennium Falcon and the, you know, Han Solo and the...
Yeah, so like the original Star Wars.
Yeah.
Were you alive when the first movie came out?
I was born in 75.
Yeah, so just barely alive.
Just barely, yeah.
So they were, so Star Wars. I remember collecting some of those.
Yeah.
I loved Princess Leia. She was my jam.
It's a terrible figure.
I really like Princess Leia.
And she likes Princess Leia, and guess who actually has a Princess Leia with a Yunsel outfit?
Me. It's very safely tucked away somewhere.
Not on display, mind you,
No.
but it's in a safe compartment somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, did you have a lot of toys when you graduated from high school? I mean, action figures, sorry. Did you have a lot of action figures? Did you have any inkling as an 18-year-old Sully graduating from high school that you were going to start collecting to the degree that you have?
No, but I always liked toys. So I never had a girlfriend in high school. I never went on a date.
That's a story for another
But
day,
I did
too.
have a lot of toys. I had all the G.I. Joe stuff. And I collected G.I. Joe for the 3 3/4 when they first came out through, God, I had all the stuff, all the vehicles. You went in my room. Oh, God, a funny story. So my grandma used to take us, you know, for my birthday week, we would go up to Lake Merwin, and she had a little camper up there. And we went to the fair in that town, and you could throw darts at posters and get that poster
Oh, nice.
for like $1.
Mm-hmm.
And they had like half naked chick posters, and I threw the darts.
Very sexy.
Yeah. So in high school, I had posters of half naked chicks on my ceiling, and G.I. Joe everywhere. Oh, and I bought a big stereo. I had big Fisher speakers that were just massive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Super cool.
So this table's very noisy.
That's all right.
So G.I. Joes, and then you go off to college. What? And did your grandma keep everything
Yeah, we put it in storage in her attic.
in storage?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know where that is now? Did you get it all out of storage?
I have no idea where that's at.
Wow.
No.
Do you want to ask me anything?
Yeah. What was your favorite? So what was after Star Wars for you? I mean, what was your jam? Like, what
My
did
jam.
you start collecting when you were a little bit
Yeah.
older? Did you like boys when you were little?
I had boyfriends.
How old?
I was 17. Okay. I didn't really collect toys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I collected magazines with heartthrobs on the cover. So, Tom Cruise, Rob Lowe. Oh.
So hot.
So many. I can't even remember them all. Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, all of them. All those movies that came out in like the mid 80s. So I collected magazines. I had the magazines that came out, like, I can't remember the name of them now. It's so long ago, but they had like the fold poster in the middle, and I would I would very gently open the staples. I would open the staples and I would pull the poster out, and then I would hang it on the wall. And there's like a picture of me in my high school yearbook of me in my bedroom with like the whole entire wall plastered with 1980s-ish heartthrob young boys, you know, like men. I don't know. So, I'm trying to think if there was anything else I really collected. I'm sure it'll come to me later.
When did you start liking sci-fi?
Oh yeah, that was the XFiles, hands down. So it was 1995, I think, and I was back in college with 3 kids, married to my first husband. Ex-husband, first husband. There's like ex-husband, I don't like so much, but first husband implies that they would be a third husband after you, which I really don't like. So ex-husband. And he was up one night with the kids, not feeling well, and I was sleeping. And he said, I found a show that I think you'd really love. I recorded it for you on the VCR.
Back in the day.
I know. And so it was the XFiles. And it was kind of the middle to end of season 2 when Scully had been kidnapped and come back, and she was pregnant and all that stuff. And I was just like so in love with Mulder and Scully. I still ship Mulder and Scully.
What does ship stand for?
Relationship. It's like when you ship 2 people to be together in a TV show or a book series or whatever. Like I shipped
2 people together, so 2 people from different series.
No, 2 people in the same series who have unresolved sexual tension, you ship for them to get together. Like, for example, Vampire Diaries, Damon and Elena. And I shipped them for a long time, and then they got together. And then in real life they got together, and then they broke up in real life, which was sad. I still ship them. I shipped them in the TV show, and Alex and Sierra, I shipped them, and they broke up. Okay, so X-Files. And I started watching it. I went, like, there was this X-Files marathon. I got as many shows and then as I could, like, recorded, and then I went out and bought the video tapes, the VCR tapes of season 1, and I caught up on those. But then they came out with those little action figures. Do you remember those? And I still have them in a box, and on the top it's marked X-Files action figures. They are all still brand new, mint in the containers that they were in, like Mulder in the little coffin with the aliens. And
McFarlane made those.
Really? Yeah. I think I have all of them. Like I even have the alien ones. I have them all.
And now you know. So tell them about your what was the next show that you liked? So you went to X-Files, like, conventions and stuff?
Oh, Farscape.
Farscape.
Yeah, I used to go to, X-Files didn't really have conventions. Farscape had conventions through Creation. And I went to Star Trek once and Farscape. And when Farscape came out, I was just over the moon for that show. It was so good. It was 4.5 seasons of amazingness. No real action figures, though, that I recall. Oh, no, they did. They came out with some action figures. I probably still have those.
But we went to a Farscape convention.
We did.
Multiples.
Yeah, when we first met, I was like, I'm going to this Farscape convention. You want to come?
I'm like, sign me up.
He came along.
Yeah.
Had no idea. Never seen the show.
No.
Sat in the audience, like, really amazing for 3 days. We've done supernatural shows through Creation.
Yeah. Those were fun.
Those were fun.
Yeah, we did that for years.
Yeah, so we were kind of like when we met, you know, you were a toy.
Mulder.
He was wearing a shirt on our first date that said BlackOpsToys on it. And we met at Best Buy because we both worked there. That's a story for another day. And he's wearing this shirt on our date, and I was like, so you said something about eBay, and I was like, so what do you sell? You pointed to your shirt.
I was pointing to my nipple.
No, you were pointing at your shirt that said BlackOpsToys. I did not get it, but within a couple of weeks, I was sitting with his grandma putting stamps on envelopes and writing out customs forms.
So back in the day, like a long time ago, when I was just doing this as a side hustle, God, we used to sit for hours and package up packages in bubble envelopes, and we would hand stamp each one. So we'd have to weigh the package, go to the stamp calculator, and then we had to buy all the different denominations of stamps. It was f***ing insane. Sorry, but we would sit there for hours and we would stamp packages. So
yeah, and we would hand write out customs forms.
Yes,
and even then, half the orders were from overseas,
UK.
And so we had to sit
yeah.
there with those little green and white customs forms, and we hand wrote all the addresses out and stuck them on there to take them all into the post office.
Bins at a time, like 4 or 5, 6 bins.
Yeah, because we only did it once a week, right?
Little packages, yeah.
And we would sit while the post person, whoever it happened to be, took our packages, weighed them to double check that we put the right amount of stampage on there, and then like stamp the customs forms.
We were hours. It wasn't just a drop off and go. It was like hand check.
They didn't get the drop off and go
hand
for
check.
a couple, 3 years. Yeah. It was definitely a sign of true love that I took those into the post office for you. Yeah.
It let us do a lot of stuff though.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. So.
Don't think too hard.
Okay.
Brain might explode.
So what, when with all of the toys that you had and the action figures that you had and the stuff going on in your life, did you like really know this was going to be a thing?
Oh, it's a good question. I had an accident or whatever, and
that's a story for another day.
Story for another day. Involves some and sundry things. But I was laid up for quite a while, and internet shopping just started kind of being a thing. And we went to this website called Small Blue Planet. They're not around anymore, but they had dragon action figures. And I had my grandma buy me one when I was laid up, and then she bought me another one. So I think the first dragon figures that I had. Before that, I had 12-inch of the newer Joes. I got my first girlfriend when I was 18. I was 18. Yeah. So
you got your first girlfriend?
Yeah.
You got her.
Just snagged her. Anyway, for my 21st birthday, she bought me a G.I. Joe Jeep and a 12-inch figure.
Oh, wow.
From Toys R Us. Yeah. But anyway, laid up, and I got some dragon figures, and I got the Matt and Jeff 2-pack from Black Hawk Down, and then I think I got Dragon Steve. And I started, putting them together and putting different parts on different figures and having, and this is when eBay just started, and then having leftovers. And then I started buying parts to add on from all different manufacturers. Back then, Small Blue Planet sold individual parts. From 21st Century and Dragon and stuff like that. So I started buying the parts and pieces, and I started to sell on eBay after that. And I remember my first camera, I went to Incredible Universe. This is no bullshit. And it was a 1 megapixel, and it was this big. I'm not even kidding. It was this big. And I would take pictures of the parts, and I was just learning how to use eBay. And these parts were selling. And then I would buy more stuff and whatever. But then I started getting into BBI. And BBI you could buy at KB Toys and KB Toys outlets. And KB Toys all shut down in the malls, but the outlets were open. And they were only at various outlet malls, I want to say. Anyway, they had BBI figures on sale for like $13 each. So I'm like, wow, this is great. So I went out to a KB toy store and I bought all of their BBI stuff.
Didn't you go all the way out to the beach?
I don't know where it was, but I bought. So this is how it unfolded. Okay, I buy my first lot, and then I start to sell these things, and I'm just parting them out, and I'm making more money. And I started thinking I was really cool and I'm going to make some really custom stuff. So I would take these 3-color desert uniforms and I would spray paint them with black stripes, like psh, 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 and called them custom tiger stripe. No, it's no bullshit. It was awesome. Anyway, so after that, I hit every KB Toys outlet in Oregon, Washington, and Idaho. And I bought all of their inventory. And I had an Acura Integra. It's a small car.
I know it's a small car.
It was a Type R, but it was a small car. it had a wide body kit on it. Man, I was so ghetto. But small car. But I remember picking up all these action figures, and my car was just stuffed, man, all the way to the roof. And I would come home and drop them off, and then that's how I started to roll that. But I was also buying. So I taught English in Japan. So I took a break from obviously buying in the US, and I would just have stuff sent to my grandma. So I'd find a good deal on eBay, again in Japan at the internet cafe. And I would buy, various figures, and when I got home I had a whole shit ton. And I just started to go.
Yeah.
Buying, flipping, but I always sold parts. So
yeah. So that's how it started. And at some point financially, you had to be like, okay, this is working, at least for now.
I still had a job, but I had a lot of play money.
Yeah, a lot of play money. I remember that. No, I don't mean it. I don't mean it mean. I just remember that. No, the way
I remember that.
No, I know.
His wallet was so big.
No, the way I said it, yeah. No, I remember that when we would go places, you would always, like the first time we went to LA, which we went to Universal Studios, we'd only been dating, 5 months?
Yeah.
And we went down there, and we went to, what's the name of that store at City Walk? Incredible.
Things from Another World.
Things from Another World, because they have one here. You went in there, and you saw all this stuff, and you bought all these things and shipped them home.
Yeah.
And I remember, I worked at the same store you worked at, and I did not have that much expendable cash.
Okay, let's talk about this. So at Best Buy, I was there for years.
Yeah.
I got that job when I got back from Japan. But I would spend more per month at Best Buy than my paycheck. And I had loss prevention all over my ass. And they couldn't figure out what I was doing. And
I remember.
Honestly, I was looking for good deals.
Yeah.
But I had the expendable income to have, the first plasma that came out.
And I remember the manager of the store that we worked at yelled at you in the line because we had just got paid Friday. So paychecks had just gone in our account. And he has this cart full of stuff that is way more than his actual paycheck. And the manager was so upset with you. What were you doing? And oh my goodness, I remember that. Yeah.
Well, Sam was funny. He was a funny guy. He finally got it. I mean, I had to bring action figures in and show them. People didn't understand I saw action figures or whatever, but they always thought kitty kind. No, it's not kitty kind.
Yeah.
Right? And most people today still don't know. We go places and somebody talks to us and it's like, what do you do?
We sell action figures.
Oh, that's nice.
Like G.I. Joes.
I have a daughter that might want one, or I have a son that might want one.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
a lot of times though they compare them to G.I. Joes.
Yeah.
The old G.I. Joes, because that's pretty much what people know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And good on them, but it's hard to explain what we do.
Yeah, really.
How do you explain it now? Because I usually have you explain it.
I just explain it that it's Build-A-Bear for grown men. That's because people do the blank stare. You're like, we sell action figures. They're 12 inches tall. Oh, they'll say the little G.I. Joes. No, 12 inches tall, fully customizable. You can take them apart. You can mix and match. And then eventually I say it's like Build-A-Bear for grown men.
Yeah. Build-A-Bear for dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is like being a kid, but you can be a kid at your leisure and have some nice stuff.
Yeah. And and it's also is never boring.
It's never boring. Like therapy.
Yeah. All right. So I feel like that was pretty good. I feel like that was pretty good.
Yeah.
We talked. So yeah. I don't really think we need to cover anything else. We can talk the next time about how like actual Black Ops Toys got started, and maybe talk about how we met.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah. And if there's something that
You wanna know.
that you want to know, leave a comment, and
Yeah.
we'll try to answer some questions.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So
That's
thanks
good.
for watching this video that's probably close to 25 minutes long.
The perfect length. Not too long.
Not too short.
short.
Just right.
Just right.
And follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
I would say BlackOpsToySTOry.com is going to be the aggregate.
Right.
You can find all of our content.
Well, for sure.
Yeah.
But also go out on social media and
Like, subscribe, share.
ring the bell,
Ring
do
that
all
bell.
the things.
What did we say last time? Ding-a-ling the
I don't know. You
slap
say
the sack? Or something
you
like
say in one of your videos recently said slap that subscribe button.
Slap that subscribe button.
Which I'm not sure that'll work unless you're on your phone and then you can like, slap your phone. Okay.
All right.
All
good
right.
deal.
Thanks for watching. Ooh, that was good. Thanks for listening. If you like this episode, please share the show. Share it on your social media and share it with your friends. We don't really care how you share it, just share the show. Until next time.